You.
I am Mary Bruce Glaze. I am a retired school teacher. I am involved with the Shenandoah Valley Discovery Museum. I'm involved with Shenandoah University, and I'm proud to say I'm involved with the Bank of Clark County,
Yeah.
all of which are well entrenched in our community. And I met Lauren, and I knew it was time to get involved with the Winchester Rescue Mission. I'm inspired. I'm curious,
Yes. Curiosity. Love that.
very curious, and I don't want that curiosity to stop me or stymie me.
Hmm.
I want it to go forward. And Lauren kept saying something about the stigma. And what I would like is for you to talk about the stigma if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't even remember the very first time that you and I met.
I don't either.
I think it was at a CSEC
Mhm.
meeting. Either way, and we've mentioned this a little bit earlier this evening, is kind of the stigma that might surround homelessness, these preconceived notions that we might have from a handful of reasons. Either we might have experienced something personally with somebody who's experiencing homelessness, we might have been told something. I think a lot of times society can tell us certain things about, a certain population, such as people who are experiencing homelessness. And I think when we see someone who is experiencing homelessness, I think a lot of times what we're initially thought of is the stigma of, these individuals are lazy, they're drug addicts, they're bums, they're choosing it, they're winos, and they just want a handout, right? They're dangerous. A lot of times we'll get that. And I think that stigma exists again for kind of a handful of reasons. But one of the things that I've encouraged you in and encouraged many other people is when you walk into a situation, like, lead with curiosity. Try to ask yourself, I wonder what this person's story is, right? I wonder, and one of the best things that I would say that you can do is, like, ask them their name. And you don't have to get into very personal details, but just leading with curiosity, not initially making the assumption that this person is just choosing this, that this person is automatically, dangerous or things like that. But there's the stigma. Acknowledge that there's this stigma that exists, but then take some measures to ask some questions, both of yourself and to educate yourself on the contributing factors to somebody who might be in a different situation than you. What might have led them to doing this? That's something I shared a little bit about my story.
Mhm.
Is I started as a volunteer here
Mhm.
at the rescue mission, I think maybe 8 years ago, and I certainly had my own preconceived thoughts as to why somebody might end up homeless. And over the years, I have come to know, and I was faced or zooming with Brandon not too
Is
long
he
ago.
here? I mean,
He's
is he on this
he's out
thing?
actually in Fresno,
Okay.
California, but we set up a Zoom call for him to talk to us about that. And talking about um the where what initially I was a volunteer, and then I've come to love the people that we work with, right? And one of the things that really grounds us when we do have this, the stigma is, how incredible is it that all of us are created, I believe, in the image of God,
Mhm.
right? And at the end of the day, underneath all of it, everything, we're each created in the image of God, and I need to treat every individual that I encounter based on that, right? Despite any other circumstances, despite any kind of criminal record, despite any kind of diagnoses, despite anything else, that individual is a friend and is created in the image of God, right? And then, kind of above that, I asked a couple other friends, is when you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a
You
teacher.
want to be a teacher, and so,
I still want to be a teacher,
right?
but I also want to keep learning, and that's what you're
Yeah,
doing for
yeah,
me.
a lifelong learner, and I love that. I
Yes.
absolutely like. I have a personal mission statement for myself, and that's in it. I want to be a curious, lifelong learner. That's in it. So, um, after we're all created in the image of God, that next level is, when we were little, we all said we wanted to be a teacher. We all wanted to be an astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a cowgirl. In fact, inside in my office, I've got a little aluminum lunch box
Mm-hmm.
that has a cowboy on it, because that's what I wanted to be, right? When I was in kindergarten, I wanted to live that lifestyle. And so all of us at some point said, I want to do this when I grow up, and I want to be this, and I want to achieve this, and I want, this. None of us actually said, I want to be homeless when I grow
No.
up. I want to be in poverty. I want to be food insecure. I want to be addicted to substances, right? And so behind all of this, all of us created an image of God. All of us had a dream, right? And so I think because of certain barriers and certain life events and diagnoses and things like that, right? Those were contributing factors to somebody now, on the street, living on the street, right? Without a house, without a home. And so we, at the rescue mission, that's something, that we try really hard to do, is create an opportunity, create an environment for people to dream again, right? To go back to that, to trace it back down. You were created in the image of God, and you once had a dream. Let's get you back to realizing what that
your
dream was,
can be,
and is and can be, right?
The other thing is how you imagine yourself. And I'll never forget sitting in your office when you talked about the curiosity and the stigma. I immediately thought, what have I done wrong? There's a stigma out there. I've got my stigma. Is that it? And I took it as how do I get myself over that? And it's still, you're teaching me every day just by the life that you live and lead to, maybe you had some ideas about what was going on. The one thing that has guided me through many opportunities, whether it be with those that don't have a roof over their head, who are hungry, who are addicted, ask them their name. Ask them their name. My niece is visiting, and she said, "Where are you going?" I told her. The first three things I said to her: curiosity, stigma, and ask them their name. And it certainly allows you an opportunity to see that image of God and to know we are here together. We can't fix it all the time.
Yep.
But we can help. And your willingness to continue to want to teach our neighbors and our community is an inspiration. When you take one-on-one time, you sit out here in the freezing cold on a bench. And when you brought the movie, what was the name of the movie? I'm still waiting for the big thing to come out. Has it come out yet?
Not quite yet. It will be it will be released very soon.
Okay.
The documentary was Americans with No Address.
Oh my goodness.
And then the movie comes out here, I think, in just another couple of weeks.
Is it called Americans with No Address? The movie.
The movie is No Address.
No Address, but the documentary.
The documentary was Americans with No Address.
And
that we got to be
all of how so many people like yourself that have addressed it in their community and what is successful. My takeaway is ask them their name, know who they are, and be done with it.
Yeah, I think I would argue that really the root cause of homelessness, beyond mental illness, mental health, physical health care, or the lack thereof, things like that, socioeconomic factors, financial literacy, everything like that. Beneath that is broken relationships, right? And all of us, no matter if we're housed, unhoused, where we live, right? We need relationships. That is part of the human experience. There's so much beauty in that, right? I feel like I'm living my life well when I am in good relation with myself and with those whom are around me, right? And so we put such an emphasis on that. And one of the first ways that you can build relationship with another person is to know who they are just by asking them their name. And so many individuals that, we work with will say, people would walk by me and they wouldn't even look at me. They wouldn't even make eye contact with me. Some people have even said, they went months without even speaking their name. I like that nobody asked them their name, and they didn't get to say, my name's Lauren, my name's Mary Bruce, my name's Brian, my name's Brandon. And so
my name's Sam. Where's Sam?
Yeah, he left. He'll be back.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I gotta
And
meet Sam.
yeah, Sam's rock star. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I say that about all of our staff, but particularly Sam. Right. And there's so much value. You can't make any progressive, movement forward if there's a broken relationship with yourself and with those whom are immediately around you, right? And so getting to know somebody's name, asking them their name, and making eye contact, right? So important. So important. I feel like there's, policies and procedures and best practices. All of those are really important. But I say it boils down to like just finding out somebody's name and starting to build relationship with them. At least giving them an opportunity to be seen. That's what all of us need. Some
And
of us are a
heard.
little more
We need to
outgoing
be
than others.
seen.
Yeah,
We
we need to be seen and we
I
need to be
see
heard.
you.
Yeah,
I
I
see
see you.
you.
Right? And there's so much value in that. I don't think that would solve, that won't eradicate homelessness just by doing that. But I think it just builds the foundation. I see you, you're seen, and you're worthy of being seen. You have such innate dignity and such innate value. I don't give it to you, you have it.
One thing that you and Janie and the rescue mission gave me, which is a very simple thing, is the card
Mm.
that you hand to those people who are asking for money.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself, when I roll down the window to hand
Mm.
that to them, the person that's asking for money,
Mhm.
I feel like I see them and I hear stories.
Mm.
I haven't gotten to the point where I'm asking their name yet,
Yeah.
but I hear stories.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a small token of, here, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
The other day I was at a Dollar Tree,
Mhm.
and it was freezing cold, and the woman working the counter said, I wish I had a way to help all the people that are coming in looking for warmth. And I remembered I had those cards
Mm-hmm.
in my car. So I went back, got them, and took them to her. But it gave me an opportunity to have a conversation and connect with her,
Mm.
and to know that
Right on.
she was seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What she wants to do,
Mm-hmm.
she can do.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, thank you so much, because there's a woman that lives, she thinks she lives at, is there a Sheets out there? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Out Berryville Avenue.
Mhm.
Maybe she lives at the Shell station.
Yeah.
But that's where she lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this woman saw her. And it's wonderful that you have given me the courage to get beyond my stigmas. I'm not going to tell you that it still doesn't hurt to use that word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think we all, carry our own stigma, carry our own, preconceptions about things. And I think consistently challenging those and just digging a little deeper and figuring out, why do I actually think this way? Is it really true? Or am I just making assumptions based on other things? And maybe it is true. Maybe it very much is valid. But I think we're doing ourselves and our neighbors such an injustice if we don't consistently challenge, the way that we think.
Well, you have done that to me.
Well,
I have brought it to my grandchildren. I have brought it to my friends. And I do it with the understanding that, yeah, I've got a stigma.
Mm-hmm.
I got to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
But here, let me help you work on it too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see our community, all of our community, the community that's hurting and the community that's not hurting.
Yeah.
And the community that wants to help.
Yep. I absolutely love that. And I love that you're a part of it. And I love that you're asking questions. I love that you're here and supporting us in this way. And I'm here to help. I might not have the answers. I certainly don't. I'm no expert, but yeah,
You've done a great
love
thing.
that. I appreciate
you're
that.
doing a great thing.
I appreciate that very much.
And I'm glad you still have Brandon there to guide. And I am really glad that Brandon has you to take the Winchester Rescue Mission to a whole new level.
I look forward. I feel like the best is yet to come, very much. So
yeah.
I appreciate that very much. Well, thank you for coming out.
Yeah,
I very much appreciate it, and I loved.
Do you have a full docket for the rest?
For the rest, we've got a couple other phone call, or maybe a couple other Zoom calls. We have I think some other residents are going to come out, and then I think maybe one or two of our staff are going to come out in like the middle of the night, which I'm excited
Your
for.
staff is amazing,
I
and your
know.
mother is the
Oh,
best.
I know it. Yeah.
Shout out to Lauren's mom.
Yep, they didn't do a absolutely terrible job of raising.
No, well, that's whose
You know.
opinion.
I'm the youngest of four, and
Oh, never
I am-
mind.
I
Yeah,
am
never mind.
so-
I know.
so grateful for just
For
such a
wonderful
loving
things.
family
Yeah.
and incredibly supportive parents. They've done a tremendous job of supporting me, of supporting the rescue mission in so many ways.
There's a
and
little
yeah,
bit of
just
creativity there too.
lots of creativity. I have the outgoingness, I feel like, of my mom, and maybe the patience a little bit of my dad.
So you don't get a pair of scissors and some glue and glitter and make it happen?
A little bit of that, you know,
Okay, all right.
a little bit of that. But I actually, my whole family are engineers. Almost all my family. Two sisters went to school for engineering. My mom and my dad actually went to school for engineering, and I just say I'm the black sheep of
No,
the
you are
family.
not.
But
You, my dear,
I
are
feel
an
like-
engineer of people.
you know what? I will coin that. I love that. I absolutely love that. I really do. That's good. That's the first time I've heard that,
You're an
and I
engineer
love
of people.
that I get to.
And don't ever think
get
that
to
you're
work-
not.
Well, thank you. Love
Welcome.
that. So, yeah, I'm grateful to be a part of what I get to be a part of in the ways
Right.
that I get to. So,
And as time goes on, this isn't the last time I'm going to be here
yeah,
on a cold night. I promise you. I have
I
promised
appreciate
you for
Yeah.
a long term, but I'm not giving up on my promise.
I look forward to it
All right.
very much. Well, thank you, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Appreciate you always.